Hello YouTubers, and welcome to my channel, the Virginia Bushcrafter. And this is the channel where we learn and we practice bushcrafting, prepping, and survival skills. So with that said, guys, I want to show you my surrounding area. So this is the bush that I am in today, and one of the things that is, it is very, very wet here. As a matter of fact, it was raining on my way here. So today I want to focus on using one specific knife and a saw, and the knife that I want to use is a Kindling heavy duty cookery. So I'm going to do my batoning with this knife. I'll make feather sticks and so forth, but what I want to focus on today is, since it is so wet, I wanted, and these are not conditions to try to make a fire, but what I want to do is talk about the 5 factors of a fire. We all know fire is some flames that will burn you. But all fires must start with an ignition or combustible, in which that's going to be my ferro rod. And then I'm going to go and gather tinder, which I'm going to scrape off the bark of a tree. And these are very wet, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to scrape some tinder off the bark of a tree trunk, and then I'm going to make some kindling. And I am going to do some batoning to make the fuel. And of course, what we need is oxygen. So yeah, guys, it is really, really wet here. Yeah, just even, it's going to be a chore, but it's going to get done. So again, this is the Virginia Bushcrafter. This is the channel where we learn and practice bushcrafting skills. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my camp, and I'm going to get back with you as soon as I start making some tinder. Hey YouTubers, I'm going to make some shavings right now. This piece of wood is very, very wet, but I'm going to make some tinder out of this. Just by rubbing the back of my knife, the spine of it, against it, and you can see there are a lot of shavings coming off. So by the time I can do this, these shavings should be dry. But this is going to be the tinder that I use to start my fire. And another way you can do this is just by placing this on my shoulder and taking the middle of the knife and just pulling up, and you can make shavings that way as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just make me a pile of shavings to give it time to dry out, and well, actually a pile of tinder, and I'm going to use this to start my fire. So as soon as I get a nice pile, I'll be back to make some kindling. All right, see you soon. All right, guys, I wanted to show you the shavings I've made. These are the shavings that I've made just from using the spine of my knife and constantly doing this. The part that I have used mostly now is somewhat dry, but this was all just from doing this, using the spine of the knife. So now what I'm going to do is actually make curls. I'm going to make a fair amount of curls and get back with you. Hey guys, I wanted to show you how I'm going to make my curls with this 10-inch knife. Simply using my thumb, just pressing down. These are curls, or you can call them shavings. So this is what they look like. As you can see, here is one here. So I'm going to make a pile of these to go along with the shavings that I made from this same piece of wood. And then I'm going to proceed to making some feather sticks. The feather sticks is going to be considered the kindling, but as soon as I get this done, I'll come back and show you the amount of shavings I've made with the heavy duty. Hey guys, I want to show you the shavings that I made. I've made shavings as well as curls, and the reason that I'm doing this is you can see the curls on my right side, the shavings are on my left side. So the reason that I'm doing this is because the wood is really wet, so this is going to give the wood an opportunity to dry out. So again, here are my shavings, here are my curls, and they're both going to be part of my fire process. So the shavings are going to be the tinder, and the curls are going to actually be kindling. And now what I'm going to do is make some more kindling by splitting, by batoning some wood. So, and this is to get to the middle of the wood to dry it out. So I'm just going to take the knife, something to bat it with. And I'm going to do this over and over until I get nice, some nice kindling, which I will make some feather sticks. But I wanted to show you the process that I'm going to use now. And this is to get to the middle of the wood where it is dry. So as soon as I get some of this done, I'll come back and show you and talk to you about it. Hey guys, just want to let you know, I am getting ready to make some feather sticks. And I'm going to be splitting this wood even further. This portion, I'm going to split them even further. I'm going to split them down to this size. And then I'm going to make feather sticks using a Scandinavian grind knife. And the feather sticks will just be simply attached to the wood. So I'm going to make a lot of these. This is what they're going to look like, but they will be attached to the wood. And I'm doing all of this because the wood is wet. This will allow the wood to dry out. The thinner the wood, the quicker it's going to catch. So I'm going to do this and come back, and I've already got my fuel prepared. Have lots of fuel over here. So this size will remain as is. So that would be the steps for starting the fire when all the wood is wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some feather sticks. And hey guys, I have sufficient wood, but I'm going to make some larger curls. I have a fair amount of curls, but I want to have more than needed because the wood is wet. So I'm going to just make some larger curls just by holding on to the spine of the kukri and the handle, shaving upward. As you see, this gives me a much larger curl. So I'm going to make yeah, you can see this has given me some nice curls already. So if you can see, those are some nice curls. So I'm going to continue this process, and the next step is going to be to start. Okay guys, I have all of my material ready to start the fire. The fire lathe that I have is called an upside down log cabin TP style. That is because the bottom layer are stacked directly next to each other, and then there is a crisscross layer in the form of a log cabin with wood going up the side in a TP style. So it's known as a upside down fire. So that's the main fire layer. Here are my shavings. These are feather sticks. So those are the feather sticks. Then I have curls, and then I have just some regular bark as kindling. But here's my tinder. So this tinder should be easily combustible. It is very fine. It's thin. It's a little, I think it's a little damp, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. But once I get that done, get that lit, I'm going to put it on top of the wood and start adding the kindling. And once the kindling has caught well, I will start adding the fuel, which is over here. And I have the fuel sitting on or laying on a plastic bag because the ground is still damp. So again guys, it's still wet here. It may look dry, but things are still very moist. So I'm going to start this fire and get right back with you. All right guys, I'm going to go ahead and start this fire. I've put the shavings up there, so let's just see what happens. The wood is still somewhat wet, but let's see what happens. I've tried to dry it out, so well, the wood is very, very wet, so we're going to try a different method. All right, guys, this wood is terribly wet, so I'm going to use a cotton ball with Vaseline. So let's see how the alternative works. There we have fire already, just that quick. So now, just going to add some tinder to it. Okay, so we have our fire going, Now it's just maintaining the fire. So once I get some coals on here, I'm going to start my meal. So again, guys, it's always good to be prepared when making a fire. We had our combustible or our ignition, which is the ferro rod. We had our tinder, which was still somewhat wet, but we tried it anyway. And we have our kindling that is dry. And we have our fuel that's waiting. And the last thing we have is oxygen. So 5 components of a fire. There we have it. All right, guys, I am heading out of the bush. It's been an enjoyable day, dealing with the wet wood, eating a meal, taking a quick nap. So guys, again, we always concentrate on bushcrafting, prepping, and survival skills. One of the survival skills is always to make sure that you can get to a safe location. So what I've done, just as a demonstration, I've put reflector tags up going into the bush, and I'm going to use these to guide me going out. So I'm going to get out of here before it gets too dark. But I wanted to show you the first reflector that I have. I'm going to take it down. It's right here on this tree. And when you shine the light on them, they reflect. So I'm going to remove these since I'm leaving. I'm going to remove this one. That's one of them. So let's see if I'll shine the light on the next one. And let's see, where is it? Here is the next one. As you can see, when you shine the light on it, it shines. So when you're leaving in the dark, shouldn't be that difficult. So this has led me to the focus where I can see my vehicle. Here's the third one. And it has led me to the road. So again, with survival skills, always try to make sure you know where you're going and you want to get to a safe place. Here is the fourth one. And I am headed out. These are great little gadgets. All right, YouTubers, thanks for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. Remember, get out in the bush, enjoy yourself. All right, YouTubers. Thank you for joining me. Hit that like button, leave your comments, share the video, and subscribe to my channel by ringing that bell so that you get all my notifications when they drop. Thank you. I'll see you on the next video.